What's up, GG Nation, GG Legion? It's your fella, once again, Straussman, the GG, in all his glory, for bringing you episode 4 of Anime Time. We're back, and look who's back, Chad.
Hi, guys.
Just woke up.
Had to come out of hibernation to record some podcasts and everything else with Levi for a minute.
Welcome back to the show, episode 4 of Anime Time. The show's doing really, really well. We thank you guys so much for that. We're almost at 1,000 views, so let's get to the end of the week. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get there.
Get there tonight.
Let's do it tonight. Let's do it. So, episode 4, we're going to be talking about the 7 deadly sins right behind us. You probably can't see it as much. But,
can you say the actual name of the show?
Say it in Japanese for me, Chad.
Nerd.
You can't say it?
That's about all you're getting from me.
It's Hatsunan. I couldn't tell you. But it's a great show. It's a Netflix exclusive, per se. They just bought the rights to play it or stream it. But really, really great show. Season 2 is coming out hopefully this year. They're talking about it. So
No, it is. For sure.
I'm hoping, though. Like, you never know.
I'm pretty sure it's the end of October. Or middle of
I think that's
October.
what I saw, too. But it's an incredible show.
I'll double check.
We'll double check and make sure for you. It's a great show. It's a really... I like the concept a lot of... They're each kind of branded from the 7 deadly sins, per se.
Yeah.
But what genre would you consider this, Chad? Let's start out with you, then we'll go with me here.
We were talking about this before, when I first got here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it has a lot of shonen aspects to it, but
it does.
It really isn't
It's a mix of something.
Yeah.
A mix of shonen and something else.
I wouldn't really know what that other thing is either.
I would say fantasy. Sci-fi
well,
fantasy.
for sure. I mean, if you want to...
Not sci-fi, but fantasy.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely set in a fantasy world. It's almost kind of like medieval style.
It is very medieval, for sure. Because this show is hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Well, yeah,
in the show. But medieval's the right thing. So it's like it's shonen, medieval, fantasy, all kind of mixed into one. It doesn't really have a specific genre, I would say. No, this one's not like Zoids where we could just say mech anime or something like that. This one really has a mixture of stuff. It can be put in a lot of different things. I think the Blu-ray set just came out, or part 1 just came out, so go pick that up. Right Stuff or anything. That's where usually I get all my collector's edition of anime and stuff like that. I need to pick this one up. I know if you got Netflix, watch it. It's a really great show. Let's talk about the overall story.
The first season. The first season's not even that long either. And it goes by real
25
quick.
25 episodes?
Well, that's, I mean,
like,
that's short compared to most of the things I've seen in my life.
And they're kind of getting shorter now with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff are 12 episodes now and stuff like that. But let's just talk about a little bit of the arc. Like, what are the 7 deadly sins? What is the story of the 7 deadly sins?
Well, the beginning is mostly...
It's a twist in the beginning.
It's kind of... The anime deals with mostly Meliodas just trying to regroup with everyone.
Yeah, he's
that's
trying
the
to
best
get
way to put it without like, giving too much away.
He's trying to get the sins back together.
Yeah.
But they are considered what?
The world's most powerful warriors. I mean,
yes, in the show sense, but in the show, what are they pegged as? Criminals. Right from the get-go. They are considered the most, like, they are, like, probably the most powerful warriors in the show. But it's a nice little twist, because they're pegged as villains. But,
yeah, because they are, I guess they are being hunted.
Yes, they are.
In the first, like, handful of episodes or whatever. I forgot about that.
It is a fun, it's just
those
a fun
first couple
show.
episodes go by so quick, you kind of, like, throw everything else to the side.
You really don't, the first 2 episodes, like, I always have a theory of a show, which is a bad theory. I don't think it's a bit. Well, wait till you hear me out. My theory is I watch like the first 2 episodes, and if I don't like it, I usually bail. But that's a bad theory because some shows might need 5 or 6 episodes. Yeah, because the first 2 episodes of this do not really set up the show for what it is at all.
It doesn't at all. And but that's, you know what, Hunter x Hunter is the exact same way.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the reasons why I end up liking these shows, because it's not just like throwing you into the mix and like, oh yeah, this is what this is going to be, but how it kind of like, oh, you know, we're going to start you off just letting you get to know this, and then we're going to introduce Hawk.
Yeah,
then, you know, like weird little things. And you meet Elizabeth,
and you're riding on Hawk's.
It's like it's weird, and then it kind of goes,
time.
yeah. And then you kind of figure out that, like, you kind of get little hints here and there about, you know, the 7 deadly sins because everybody's talking bad about them.
It takes a little bit. Yeah. It takes about 5 or 6 episodes to really, like, you'll probably get sucked in the first 2 episodes,
for sure.
But story wise, it takes about 5 or 6 to really pick up, and then you kind of see the other twist, which we won't say too much, but you can kind of pick up with it what's kind of going on with the Holy Empire and so forth like that. But let's get into the characters now. Which out of the 7 deadly sins that we know, because there's only a few we know in this series, which ones are your favorites? Which ones are your least favorites?
The only one I actually somewhat dislike is Diane. And the only...
You don't like giant girls?
Well, the only reason why I say that is because they make her... in my opinion, they make her too girly.
Yeah.
So for who she is, she's a giant. She's a beast. She destroys things. But she's really, really girly.
But she has the crush on the captain.
Well, but that's what I mean. She's like a teen girl. But like the way she kind of
they kind of explain that herself in the OVAs.
Yeah.
The OVAs, like, she kind of, you know, per se. I won't spoil it, but it just explains because there's a particular character that likes her too.
Yeah. There's no. I wouldn't say there's a weak character in the group.
Well, like, I don't mean by, like, strength, but...
No, I'm not talking strength.
Story, they're all really good. They all have a really good...
They're not bad characters.
But she was your least favorite?
She is my least favorite one, yeah.
Probably my least favorite would be King. Would probably be my least favorite.
That's
even
funny.
Though he's really cool. His powers are really cool. He's the fairy... I won't spoil, but he's a fairy.
His story...
is tragic. Very tragic.
And it wasn't more than just tragic. It's epic, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's really good. And he's a really good dude in himself.
Yeah,
like, he's a really good dude. The reason why, he's kind of the guy that they make a joke out of the series. Like, they do all the quirky jokes with him.
For now.
But he is a badass. Like, he's really, really good character. They all are really good. You know, obviously, most people's favorites is Meliodas because he's the main guy. And he, you know, he's the dragon sin of wrath. You know, like he they're all based off like some sort of animal sin wise and stuff like that. But Meliodas is they're all really good. Bon is probably one of my favorites too. Bon is Bon's
my favorite character.
He's great comedy as well because they can repeatedly kill him over and over because he can come back to life.
The way that Meliodas uses a punching bag in some of these episodes is hilarious. He just doesn't even care. He's just laughing the whole time.
They have huge respect for each other, but they also have some bad blood as well.
It's boiling.
It's boiling, and you know, King tries to help Bon a lot to get over that particular hump, to let that particular thing go, but he doesn't really.
Not at first.
Not at first, no, because he hates Bon at first.
Like, well, he's always hated Bon to an extent just because
he was jealous
because of who he is.
Yeah, he's kind of just Bon's kind of an arrogant, pompous ass, but he's funny. But he's really cool. He's the cool guy of the show. Cool but
he's the cool guy.
But
he's a jerk. But
when Meliodas goes to save him, though, that episode, and they're like Captain, and they do that arm shake, and they just break
each other.
Everything. Yeah, like they just break it. It's epic. It's the whole amazing feeling.
That whole part where Meliodas is going to find everybody is
it's really fun. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
You know, because he's been hanging around for a while by himself for a long while.
Chilling.
Then he meets Elizabeth, you know, and she ends up being a big special part in his life.
Let's talk about that for a second, because let's talk about.
You want to give who she is, though?
Well, no. Let's give him a little story context about how,
because she is the prince.
About why why Meliodas. What leads Meliodas?
What drives Meliodas
to go find everybody to begin with?
And it's her.
Well, yeah, but you remember how Gilthunder like attacks them, and then they kind of like run into the woods, and then Dad's like laying on the ground.
Yeah,
it's like it's
so hilarious. Funny. It has a nice mix. Like you'll see a lot of Dragon Ball qualities in this show when it comes to the fights, comes to some of the story arc stuff like that. But it also does a really good job of not being boring. It has a really nice character depth.
There's a lot of comedy.
You don't have to watch 18 episodes to figure out a character. No. They explain the characters very, very well. The show is doing incredible.
Maybe there's one character that you kind of need some.
Towards the end, I'm thinking you're thinking Merlin, probably.
No, Gother. I wasn't even going to talk about Merlin because you only see her for like 3 episodes, and then
because Merlin, she barely has any because she's just like you said, she's like in the last sleep. Mm-hmm. But Gother for sure needs a little bit more. All you know that he's a particular. They're all a different species of something. Let's just
put it this way: you knew things about Gother, and I'm just gonna spill the beans now. I'm a manga reader. Yeah, I'm caught up with the manga. I just read this week's past chapter. Just figuring out all about Gother, like as it's gone along, it's insane to think about.
He's the most unique character I would say.
He's one of the most unique characters I would think in.
The actor did such a great job voicing him too.
They did.
English or sub, like they did a really good job of just playing that particular character because he's very soft-spoken guy. And he's very feminine looking.
It's very. The first time you meet Gother, you don't know what Gother is.
No, I thought Gother was a chick, but
well, remember we all thought. I think you even called me out on it. The first time we saw him, I thought it was Merlin.
Yes, because he. Had
but at the same time, I also thought it might have been a scanner because supposedly he was supposed to be in the armor.
Yes, because he had
the scanner was supposed to be a big. They make him seem like he's this big giant.
Yeah, he has this giant arm. His armor is ridiculously huge for him, but he's a particular species of something that we won't spoil. I don't know if they really. I know what it is. I don't know if they covered it.
I don't think you know what it is. I don't think you know what it is. Are you talking? You're talking about Gother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think. Since what you just said, I don't think you know what it is.
I'll tell you off cam. I don't want to spoil it because I think I do because I did read upon it a little bit, so I kind of knew.
I read the chapter 2 weeks ago, so I know. Or
true.
3 weeks ago.
But he's really unique, and you're right. Yeah, they probably don't explain but he has more depth that they need to explain probably in season 2.
Well, yeah, because Merlin gets into it a little bit.
Yes.
Towards the end of it. And
with a particular person too, like which we kind of don't know that arc yet either, but King Arthur per se,
there's a lot of stuff that's going on,
which is really cool. Some really cool stuff, and
that's still going on, by the way.
The show did so well that they left it open. They didn't think it was going to get another one, and it ended up doing so well that they are doing another one.
Well,
one of the things Netflix is doing right with anime is their exclusive streaming
the ones they are picking up or.
The ones they have exclusives on are really good, honestly.
Yeah.
They're
the ones that get watched.
Yeah, they get
by American viewers.
Yeah, they're all pretty good, and this one is just a fun ride from beginning to end.
Yes, it is.
And my favorite part, honestly, is the second opening. It just takes off because it just picks up. The song is perfect for that second half of the season because the show just goes bananas.
It does. After I think it's the 10th or 11th episode. They start to go by really quick.
And it's a pretty violent show per se. It's not a very super M-rated show, but there is some blood a little bit.
Yeah.
Mostly because Bond's a comedic.
Yeah.
They can like we said, they can kill him over and over again, and he kind of just gets back.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
We didn't really get into that. Let's talk about each one of their
powers, their
sins,
and sins. All right, so Diane is.
It's gonna be the toughest one.
She's a giant. Her race is giant people, but I don't remember her sin. Do you remember her sin?
Gonna be the toughest one. Off the top of my head, no. Gother's the goat.
Yeah, he's the sin of gluttony is king, isn't it? I know the dragon sin of wrath is Meliodas. He's the one. He's that's his sin. We're gonna have to look it up. Because I don't remember exactly. Bond is the fox sin of greed. I know for sure.
I was gonna say he's the greed one.
He's the greed one, and he fits the character perfectly. I'm pretty sure king is gluttony because he kind of has two forms.
I believe he is too because Eskinger's pride.
Yes, which we haven't met him yet. They only showed a snippet of him in the last OVA.
She's the Envy. She's Serpent.
Okay, she's the... And honestly, that fits her, because she is very envious.
She's of everyone.
She's very envious of, Elizabeth, for sure, because of that particular...
Is mostly everyone, because she doesn't want to be a giant. She wants to fit in with everybody else.
Because she has to sleep outside. She can't be like a normal girl until much later, we'll say. Which is really interesting how they work that out. But I like that because that arc, that little minute tournament arc was totally DBZ, like totally DBZ.
It kind of was,
and I loved it. I love oh my god, it reminded me so much of Dragon Ball Z, like the World Tournament and everything. Yeah. But when you find who that character is, you're like, what? No way! Right? And the way she acts in front of the captain, like she kind of just,
it's cute.
And King just.
It's the struggle between the three of them, especially when you figure out more of Deanna's story, and like
it's really sweet. Cool. Like her and King have a past, which is really sweet.
King Sloth, by the way.
Okay, so that fits him because laziness. He is the laziest one. Like that fits perfectly. Merlin is
Gother's lust.
Gother's lust? I thought Merlin would be lust.
No,
that's interesting. I can see it because he's so handsome, I guess, feminine looking. Like he kind of has that beauty look.
You would understand more if you read the manga.
Sure, I'm sure they didn't explain enough yet.
You would under that like the whole thing about Gother's character and why he acts the way he acts. It makes complete and total sense once you read that. There's like 2 chapters that literally came out.
So who are we missing? Merlin?
The last one's Merlin and a scanner. A scanner's pride, so whatever one's left over is Merlin. And then it doesn't tell me.
Merlin. Did they not reveal hers yet? I know they showed her stamp, because she's very revealing, per se. Oh, Merlin.
She is very revealing.
She is. It's like, young lady, put some clothes on.
She, by the way, she may be the most interesting character.
I like her a lot, even for the 3 episodes. But even in the OVAs where they have to do that, they make her wear the outfit and she still bails it. She's like, no,
it's funny
because he owns a pub called the Boar Hat, and it ends up being Hawk's mom, which is a little pig that they know.
Mm-hmm.
And let's explain that a little bit. He runs this bar and he's terrible at cooking, and everyone hates it. It's a recurring joke in the show. He hates.
I like how they most of them call him Hakun.
Yeah, Hakun. Yeah, like out of respect,
right?
And Bond gives him a lot of respect. Bond calls him master and everything like that, which is really funny. He calls this pig master. Like he has a lot of respect for Hawk, and they run this bar or this pub.
She's gluttony.
She's gluttony. Yeah. Interesting.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
But they all make sense. They don't have that for just to have it. They have it because it's what they are. It defines them, and you'll see how greedy Bond is.
Yeah, Bond.
And like you'll see how greedy he is towards the end.
I like how they call him the Fox too, because a lot of his attacks are kind of like real sneaky attacks. Yeah. And he one-hit KOs people too.
Swipe or no swiping.
That's the coolest thing about Bond. He does this thing called Fox Hunt or whatever, but he can literally either steal or sap your strength from you.
Yes,
he can rip out your heart.
And he's totally immortal in a lot of ways.
Yeah, most people don't know that.
Like he's ripped to shreds sometimes, and he just comes back like, "Oh, I'm fine, guys."
Which is even crazier.
It's funny
backstory, but
it's really deep. I mean, everything's deep because he starts out being a bad person per se. So he kind of tries to redeem. They all like in a lot of people's eyes they are. But they were not. They were the Holy Knights, the original OG.
Well, that's how. You remember because they're being hunted by
the new Holy Knights.
Well, yeah, by that Shredder guy too.
Yeah,
and that's when they meet Gother, or figure out it's Gother at least.
There's a lot of
and Gother's like, "Hey, look, leave.
Gother's
take the head of this thing."
Yeah, Gother actually reveals a big plot point, and you find out what is actually going on in that holy kingdom per se, and what they're using, and it's a very bad thing, very bad thing.
That just reminded me of something.
It's a very bad thing. What about some of the secondary characters? What about the Holy Knights, Gil Thunder, and
I'm not a big fan of the a lot of the side characters, mostly because they are just kind of used for like filler reasons.
I like some of them. I like Gil. I like Gil Thunder.
I don't really like Gil. I don't really like any of their stories. I guess I guess the coolest one to me would be Dreyfus, and how like
he has a very sick
his
story.
Power struggle with Hendrickson works,
because they're supposed to be close.
What Dreyfus really is, and like how he has a son and everything, and how that kind of like takes into the story, especially towards the end.
It's really good. It's a nice twist, which you'll probably pick up on it pretty quick.
But I do like Hendrickson as
the villain, yeah.
Even though he's not really a villain, none of them really are. Truthfully,
it's kind of wrong what he does, though.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
they're all technically possessed.
Like it's not the healthiest thing to do to somebody.
Oh,
I would say,
no, for sure.
Drinking that type of thing.
It's like an Horizon moment when you're talking to that Bryn guy. And
yes.
It's like, let me drink the blood of the Thunderjaw.
Yeah, and you keep bringing them all that strange blood. It's like, dude, you can't be alive. How are you alive right now? Right? Like, how are you alive? But
yeah, they end up. Hendrickson's.
It's
I'll
good.
Spoil it a little bit. Hendrickson's making demons, and they found one, and they're literally making people who want more power drink demon blood, and so they gain demon powers.
What animes would you compare this to? So if they want to watch something similar.
Good question.
I would say, I hate to say it because we always talk about it and I'm wearing the shirt.
It's
similar enough.
It's
not super similar, but it has some similarity.
That is the purest form of
shonen. Straight up.
Ever.
Straight up pure.
Yeah, because all it is fighting. There's not really a lot of story to Dragon Ball Z.
Well, there is Super. Super has a lot. Super has an amazing story.
But when you look at classic Dragon Ball, I mean,
OG Dragon Ball.
It's all fighting. It's all fighting.
The OG Dragon Ball had a really good story too. Like it had a good overall.
Most people don't
want to watch that though.
Well,
they like Z because
I wouldn't say they wouldn't want to watch it because
I think it's hard for people that watch Z to watch
Dragon Ball
because
makes sense.
Honestly, I didn't know of Dragon Ball until Z. Like that's the first one I
saw Raditz before I saw anything else.
Yeah, I saw Raditz and Gohan crying all the time.
That was the crazy part about it especially I don't know why we're talking about Dragon Ball, but when you do the switch and you actually do go back to watch Dragon Ball, like seeing young Goku is just kind of like it's so weird because you've seen Gohan for so long.
Yeah, and he's nothing like Gohan.
No.
He's very strong-willed.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
Goku is the coolest child.
He is. He's very innocent.
Anyways.
He's not new, but like I don't know. Like
I can't really compare it to anything because it is really unique.
It really is. Yeah.
There's not a lot of. I mean, I don't know of a lot of medieval style or themed animes that I can think of off the top of my head.
Because when you first watch the episode and they have this quick backstory, it's like, okay, this is interesting, but man, the show
because you can't compare it to Berserk because Berserk's
way more violent.
Yeah, well, not just way more violent.
A lot of rapiness too.
Yeah, Berserk's a dark
this is more of a lighthearted story.
Yeah,
like you're right. Berserk is very horror driven, especially when he finally gets that Berserk armor. Like it's crazy. How that thing works. That thing should not work. That thing should not be. But this is more lighthearted, even though it has some certain,
they have
dark qualities.
Themes and
because overall there is darker themes, but there is nice lighthearted moments in this world.
Even though it's a dark theme, it's not dark like content. The actual
it's hard to compare Berserk to anything.
Berserk of course. I was just drawing comparisons because
because it's medieval, everything like that.
Demons, they kind of deal along the
because
same
that
lines.
is kind of the overall layer in Seven Deadly Sins is demonic powers and demons.
And goddesses, demons,
and like those actually exist in this world. But the show does a good job fooling you that it doesn't.
Yeah, for
a little bit until you finally see that moment, which we won't spoil. Like we won't spoil that moment.
Bond's little moment.
Yeah, because that is a amazing moment. Like to see like whoa, these
talk
actually
about
exist.
character development. Boom, that
Boom,
episode
like,
right there.
Bomb, yeah, like that's his driving force of being greedy. And to see that happen to him, it hurts, but like you said at first, King doesn't want to help him with it, but then he does towards the end where they all kind of rally together and learn to respect each other.
Yeah. Well, King doesn't know Bond's story, and
not right away.
And that's kind of like why King is upset with him.
Yes, because he just sees that other side.
Yeah.
He doesn't see what that particular character meant to Bond.
Exactly.
But it's an incredible ride, incredible show. 25 episodes, 4 OVAs, season 2 later this year, hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to be skipping the story arc section because technically the anime only has one arc so far.
Yeah, we already kind of talked about it anyway. We already kind of gave...
True. We've given you plenty
We kind of give you plenty to just give you a little taste and, go check it out. It's on Netflix.
Who's your favorite character, by the way?
Overall? It's almost... Because I really like a lot of characters, but I kind of like... it's a tie. Like, I like Bond, Meliodas, and the guy that had wind power, the Holy Knight with wind power. I forgot his name. I like him a lot, too. And honestly, I really like Diane. Like, when she kind of figures out who she is... Like, I really like a lot of... Like, everybody's really good. If I had to choose one, though, I'd probably be Bond. Like, Bond suits probably what I would be.
He's the coolest character.
He's probably what I would probably handle situations probably in real life, I think. To a degree, and bad.
And, really...
Not the best way to handle things.
He's really, like... You really get this...
How about yours?
Mine's Bond.
Yeah.
Bond is my favorite character.
Bond is one of the coolest. I really like Meliodas as well because he's the captain, the hero. And he's a midget, but he's so damn powerful.
At a point...
But you find out why he's powerful.
At a point, Gother was, like, slowly becoming one of my favorite characters.
I like Gother a lot,
because
too.
of the mystery behind him.
Yeah. Even for 3 episodes, I like Merlin. Like, I thought she was incredible. And then when you get more of her in the OVAs, and it's like, oh, yeah, she's awesome. She's so hard-headed and strong, and I like that. But I really like Diane.
Hauser.
What?
Hauser.
Hey, yeah, Hauser. Because Hauser kind of has a crush on a particular character. Yeah. Okay, he's spoiled, but
who cares? If you haven't seen this,
there's an interesting love quad
it.
triangle, like quad. There's like an interesting love quad. Like
I wouldn't say it's a quad. It's a triangle.
No, I would say Meliodas. It's one side. Meliodas, Diane.
Well, then no, that
Hauser
stops.
and King.
That stops.
Eventually stops. It clearly does. Yeah, because she finally wakes up.
It's
per se.
Well,
we'll say it like that.
The thing is that it's never been Meliodas to Diane. It's always Diane to Meliodas.
It's always been one-sided. Yes,
Yeah.
It's very one-sided.
So it's Diane's problem with 3 different men. It's not Meliodas' problem. With
Meliodas,
Diane.
we should talk a little bit more since he's the leader and he's a little. We haven't
even said anything about Meliodas.
We haven't even said how he's kind of handsy and gropey. And how savage he is.
But the cool thing is that when you first see it all, it doesn't make sense.
But the thing,
and then it makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, of course you would be.
I want to spoil this one moment, and it's a small spoiler, but it was hilarious as shit.
Like I said, bro, this is like 3 years old. You can spoil the shit out of it.
But I liked where he had the audacity to grab Elizabeth's ass in front of her dad. And he's like, get your hands off my daughter!
That's so funny. Like, don't worry, I'm a watcher.
And yeah, he's all up in it. Yeah. Like, straight up. And she don't even care. She doesn't really even
the best part about this is that, let's say Elizabeth is this tall, Meliodas is this tall.
He's a tiny dude. He's like Krillin.
Meliodas is like a little gnome, like, scurrying around her, like,
but don't be fooled.
Every part
he might be the smallest member, but he's definitely by far the strongest. And he'll put all the sins in line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. At least in
this
the
only reason why, though, is because of his power.
Of that.
That's the only reason that makes him actually stronger.
Well, yeah, but it's a power he doesn't like to use either.
But his actual sin power, not his demon power.
Yeah, like that. I know what you're
talking
about.
There's 2, because he technically has two different forms.
Yeah. He does. He really does. Because he's not a human.
No.
At all.
No.
Like I said, each sin is different. They're not all humans. They all have different things. Like, Diane's a giant. King's a fairy.
King's a fairy.
Bond would probably be the closest thing to human.
I believe the rest of them are human. I believe Ascanner, Merlin, and Bond are all human beings.
Gother is, I would say, a doll.
It's the perfect word.
He's a doll. He's not a...
It's the perfect word to describe Gother.
Because there's a particular scene that happens, and he kind of just... Like, he's a doll. He's clearly a doll. And that's why he doesn't really understand feelings.
Gother's story is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Really sad.
You don't really get to see it though in this though.
No, of course.
You really don't.
Manga, my bad.
But you get to see it a little bit more.
Should
like
read
if you
the
want
manga.
Yeah, like watch the show and read the manga. Continue on, and watch season 2 because I think season 2 is still gonna be phenomenal. I don't know how long it's gonna be because Netflix lies to you and says this is season 2, but it's just the 4 OVAs, and it's just to give you hyped for season 2. But
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess 12 episodes.
But it made me feel so good. To see these characters back in the OVAs, I was so happy. Oh, yeah. Like Netflix had this hype. Like there was reports that it was going to be season 2. Like
when the little break happened after the anime ended.
Yeah.
Like then the OVA came out.
Like I actually watched the OVAs.
You got really excited because you really thought it was going to be. Oh my god, is this going to be like another season of it?
I actually watched the OVAs.
4 episodes later, you're like, oh.
I actually watched the OVAs sub first before I actually watched them on Netflix. And because that's how into the show I was, it's really good.
I'm not sure how good it is dubbed.
It is. It's very good.
I'm sure it's fine. Most of the shows nowadays are decent dubbed.
Yeah, they're not bad. Like the dubs of the old 4Kids, 90s, One Piece, like those are all dead.
They're bad.
You know.
Well,
those
actually,
are all dead.
Even though they're bad, they're fun to go back and watch.
Yeah, because like really,
you make fun of a lot of things.
You'll have a good time, but you know. Any last words of Seven Deadly Sins? The game got announced. It's coming out. I'm excited. It looks like it's probably going to be a Musou style game, so I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Like that fits Seven Deadly Sins. I'm just happy that the show has really taken off and it's so popular in Japan that we're getting a game that we're actually probably going to get a game too.
Well, no,
it's going to come
I think
over.
it's popular here.
I think
it's doing better here.
I think the manga sold over 1 million. So I think it's doing really well.
Really well for
Japanese. Like that's really. Yeah. I think the manga is doing really well in Japan.
Because
the show just took off.
Think about like even the big ones, like even like One
Attack
Piece
on Titan.
And Attack on Titan, as far as I'm concerned, is America's most popular anime.
Well, that's America, but I meant like in Japan in general. Like Attack on Titan is like one of the best selling ever.
Now, yes, because
ever.
Because 2 of the big 3 are gone.
But you're right. You know, One Piece is the best-selling one.
Oh, for sure. Nothing's ever going to beat out One Piece. Anywhere. And even though, like...
Well, you actually think... You really think Oda's actually going to end that show?
Oh, yeah. It's already... Like, look, we've had this discussion before. And I keep up with it enough to know that the ending's already done.
Yeah, he already said that. But, I mean, is he ever going to get to it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going on like 1,000 plus chapters, right?
Here's a good example of this, though.
I mean, 1,000...
The pace of this past arc, or the past arc and a half...
One Piece is almost at 1,000 episodes.
Was phenomenal. It's such a roller coaster, especially when you're reading it week to week. Like I've been for probably a little over 2 years now. And to get away from the anime, which can be very bad at times because it's just what Toei does.
Yeah, it is. It's just how shonens work, guys. It's tough. If you don't keep being invested, it's hard to stay invested.
Well, we're gonna have like a 5-minute bonus clip on this video. Because I do want to get a few things off my chest about a few animes that
look at it. The
really
struggle's real. He wanted this out.
But yeah, it's never gonna get taken down until it's done. Or until it hits, like if it hits like another time skip, then maybe it'll take a hit.
I'm kind of shocked that Naruto ended, to be honest with you.
Where are you gonna go with that story though? After that?
I feel like Boruto's the same thing though.
It is and isn't.
Well, it's not Kishimoto anymore, but
they've added a lot more things to it from what I understand. I was never a big Naruto fan to begin with.
Me either. I like the video games though. The video games are really fun.
Never played video games.
They take out all the filler and the story. You get the purest form of the story, and it feels great.
See, that okay. If you could take every single episode of filler out of Naruto and make it just him, just the training sections and the fighting sections, and the actual important story, because there are a lot of little episodes.
I'm not a Naruto fan.
Into filler episodes that are really important to the story that just kind of get lost in translation because it's all over the place.
Yeah, well, Naruto, I'm like you. I'm not a big fan. It's after my time. I was DBZ and Naruto, and I got a lot of friends that love Naruto, but I do respect and love the games. It's a great fighting game with an incredible story that you get the purest form of the story, and I learned to respect it.
Yeah.
Like I learned to I really did. I liked it so much that I platinumed those games. Like, I have like the platinum of all those games.
Ninja Storm and everything.
Yeah, Ninja Storm and all that. Ultimate Ninja Storm, all that. Blah blah.
But just since we're on that topic.
Yeah.
Bleach, like.
So out of all the shonens, out of the big four, I would say Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z. Which I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, One Piece.
One Piece is your DBZ is my favorite.
GBZ's dropped off. GBZ's 3 for me.
Okay, so what's your second then?
Bleach? I was a big Bleach fan when Bleach first came out.
I loved season 1, but season 2 I did not care for.
It started to get a little ridiculous, of course. Just a lot of shonens end up doing that.
Unfortunately, shonens have to make filler because if they don't,
the
manga will never catch up. Like they have to.
Well,
they're drawing the manga.
The anime's gonna catch up to the manga, and then you'll never finish it.
Yeah, you'll have to wait years.
That's why One Piece. I mean, that's why One Piece is still one of the reasons why One Piece is still going, even though there hasn't been like a lot of actual in anime filler. We had the time skip where. And
that's kind of a shonen thing. They always do a time skip too.
Yeah, but you know what? How often is a time skip relevant to the story?
Usually, it's always relevant.
Really?
I would say so with One Piece. It's very relevant.
But that was going to be my example. Is that One Piece?
The time skip is really
important.
And even Naruto, I think the time skip is big. He learns to harness his powers. He gets his Super Saiyan form.
It is. You're right. I don't think it's as
Bleach. I don't know because we never really saw it. I
don't think there is one in Bleach.
I think in the manga there was.
Maybe towards the end of it. But when Bleach ends in anime is pretty much when I stopped.
Yeah, there's rumors that they're trying to bring it back too, but I don't know if that's
Bleach
true.
is done. They finished the story.
Like
it's just like Naruto. It's done. It's gone. It's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
I didn't include Fairy Tail because it's not a pure shonen.
You know what?
But I love Fairy Tail. That's one of my favorites.
And a lot of people also dislike it because of how crazy it tends to get.
It's going to end, too. It's going to end with the Dragon movie, which kind of makes me sad. That's kind of ending prematurely.
I think the manga will be done.
The manga's almost done.
I think it has like a month left.
Yeah, I think the manga is almost done, but they're going to end it with the movie.
Because next week's chapter, this weekend's chapter,
because they took a long break. They took a long break. They took a good year and a half break because they wanted to do something else. And usually when you do that, that's a hiatus is usually not good.
Not usually. Usually isn't a good thing. The only person who does good with hiatuses is Togashi.
Yeah.
And that's only because he needs them.
Yeah.
Take as many breaks as you need, bro. Just finish the story.
Well, the one thing we don't talk about is how stressful it is to be a manga creator.
That's true.
You
have a weekly deadline.
It's tough. Like these guys are so, their hours are ridiculous and their pay rate is abysmal.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll compare a lot of mangas to Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan comes out once a month.
Yes.
Understandably, they're usually very long chapters.
They're so far
anywhere between 25 to 32 chapter or pages long.
Yeah.
One Piece usually runs anywhere between 15 to 18 pages. But it's weekly instead of monthly.
Yeah, weekly's tough. That's not
so
normal.
You think about you're
really
shoving
think about
out
that.
15 to 16. Obviously they're not in color, but black and white, fully illustrated, everything's there and being published
and
in a magazine weekly.
And basically making this on the fly. Like, having these ideas on the fly, really. Like, it's tough. Like you, that's a great example. With Attack on Titan, they get the guy, the guy
gets plenty of time.
He gets plenty of time to work. He's fine. He's not stressed at all. No. The anime's so far behind that he's almost done with the. Well, he's halfway through. He's halfway through.
The anime is so far behind.
Like really think about that. We got season 2 of Attack on Titan this year. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years since the original season came out. 2013. Which is insane.
But I do think he took a break in the middle too.
I don't think it was just that. It was just
because the manga, even though the manga's ahead, it's not.
It's really far ahead.
It's far, but I don't think it's.
But I think the reason why they what happened is because there's another side. It's the anime side. It's hard. Like these guys are not getting paid a lot either.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids don't want to do that anymore because they're getting paid like $5. To draw this beautiful illustration.
Well, there's
and work 60-hour weeks.
Oh, you're just talking about the artists themselves.
Yeah, artists themselves. Like it's not a glamorous life.
No.
Like same thing with the manga.
Especially overseas. From what I understand,
it's bad.
Being an artist overseas is not the greatest thing.
It's bad stuff. So that's a nice, interesting topic. Let's end it. Like that's another anime time we could just do.
By the way, people, be prepared. One of the next 2 episodes is going to be One Piece.
Yes.
And it's not going to be 1 episode long.
Be prepared for that. Be prepared for probably Outlaw Star.
Yeah.
We'll probably do that one.
I think those are going to be the next
There's
2
another
episodes.
one we watched we're going to watch or finish watching.
Yeah.
That we might talk about, but we can also talk about, there's so many others. We can talk about Gun and Wing. Tell us what you like. Berserk I want to talk about because that's one of my favorites.
We'll eventually get to my other 2 favorite shows in Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter.
We should.
I would like to talk about Hunter x Hunter before Yu Yu Hakusho.
Really? Because I like... Okay. It's a team.
Old school people are going to like Yu Yu. New anime fans are not going to go back and watch Yu Yu Hakusho.
You're absolutely right, because he took what he learned from Yu Yu and made Hunter
x Hunter
like perfect.
That's why Hunter
x Hunter perfect,
is what it is.
And he'll never go back. He'll say he goes back, but he'll never go back.
Dude, he's got to finish Hunter x Hunter.
I know, but he never finished Yu Yu.
He had to finish Yu Yu Hakusho.
He never finished it.
But at least Yu Yu's like so far in the past, like we don't even have to worry about it being done.
So kind of an extended episode today. We went like 44 minutes on this.
Yeah, we wanted to ramble on about a few extra things.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit.
Like I said, I've been hibernating. I had to get some shit.
What would you give 7 Deadly Sins out of 10?
It's a solid 8.5.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
For me, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a must-watch. If you got Netflix,
Definitely.
You go watch it right now.
It's
after this video's posted.
It'll be one of the more entertaining things you could randomly find or run into on Netflix.
It's a very unique show that does everything well.
Yeah.
The dark times, the good times, the fun times, the silly times,
the jokes,
the serious times. Everything is done well. The story is beautiful. But we're going to get a lot more in Season 2, guaranteed.
For sure.
Watch the OVAs, too. The OVAs are pretty quick. The OVAs there's only 4 of them, 30 minutes.
Yeah, right? The first episode of the OVA is probably the best episode. So
it is so good. It is so good.
Like, even if you don't want to watch the whole anime, go watch the OVA. It's 4 episodes. Awesome.
Tell us in the comments what you guys are watching. I know you guys listen to us about Food Wars, so, tell us what you're watching.
And I apologize for a lack of presence on social medias.
Yeah,
I do not use Twitter. I am never on Facebook.
But believe me, I'm gonna make one for the show. I've been saying that for like 17 episodes now. But I'm gonna make one for the show. I made one for myself, so I'll get those plugged in. We'll have one for the show. We'll have one. We'll have like an Instagram for the show. We'll have a whole bunch, so you guys can actually reach out to us.
That'll be the way to reach out to anyone.
To reach us, like we're doing
Mello and his goofy comments.
It's amazing how well we're doing without really any promotion. Like I've been basically using YouTube and Facebook, but we're realistically going to hit 1,000.
He's on YouTube and Facebook. I'm standing on the side of the street with a sign saying, "Go watch the Golden God podcast."
Golden God and Friends podcast. But thank you for joining us. Thank you, Chad, for joining me on episode 4. This weekly thing. I know we kind of missed last week a little bit, but Chad was extremely busy.
The name will be changing too.
He says so, but I'm not gonna. I like Anime Time. I like it. But thank you so much, GG Nation, GG Legion, Strauss Man, and Chad. We're out.